Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I'm thinking Timothy alongside Sergio. Sergio, welcome.
Hey Tim, welcome back everybody.
Yes, welcome back. Every competition is back, so we are continuing our picks every weekend for five different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Premier League, and the Eredivisie. So let's not waste too many time. Let's get right to it. We're coming off the winter break for every competition. We are starting with the Premier League. First game on the schedule: Newcastle United hosting Bournemouth. Newcastle wins set at 1.63. Bournemouth wins set at 5.5. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, in this game, I'm looking at the over 2.5, but I also like both teams to score. Newcastle, five straight, actually six straight home games. They've won five straight, but six where they've scored at least three goals. So we should see goals in this game, and Bournemouth also in pretty good form. So I think Bournemouth will also get on the score sheet. This should get over 2.5. Also, both teams to score. You can pick either one. Sergio, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would go for the both teams to score. Newcastle win. Newcastle 6 games in a row, uh, winning streak. So yeah, number 4 in the league. So after the winter break, yeah, they didn't actually have a winter break, but still, I think they're in the same form as last year, starting against Bournemouth this year. So yeah, I would uh, I would definitely go for the over 2.5.
Yeah, because Bournemouth also in pretty good form, like I said, and only 4 points behind Newcastle United. Bournemouth also very high scoring, 32 goals, while Newcastle has scored 37. So both teams can really put the ball in the net, and we should see that happening here. Let's get to the next game. Brentford hosting Liverpool. Brentford wins set at 7. Liverpool wins set at 1.44. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, Brentford picked up a draw against Manchester City in midweek. Now we know Brentford, they've been a tough out at home. Actually, they were undefeated until a while ago. Then they lost two straight against Nottingham and Arsenal, two pretty good teams. Then a draw against City. But I'm still wondering if the draw against City has more to do with City than Brentford playing well. While Liverpool, they're actually in desperate need of a win. Crazy to say because I know they're first in the league, but they haven't played well the last couple of games. Two straight draws in the league against United. That was very surprising. And then against Nottingham Forest. So they need to bounce back with a win here. Sergio, what are you doing?
Losing against Tottenham,
Yeah, that was in the cup. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, still counts as a loss. Yeah, draw against Forest. Yeah, in the Premier League, you can't keep it up so long, to bring it every weekend. I think yeah, City also had that problem during the season, even at their best. So I would just say that it's just a little bump in their journey to the title. So again, but against Brentford, I think they should definitely get their win again. I know it's away, and Brentford can really be difficult sometimes at home, but a team like Liverpool, mm, and especially the way they've played the last let's say few months, so I would just go for a win for Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm looking at both teams to score. Liverpool wins set at 1.44. Both teams to score set at 1.49. So you get slightly more value. And like we said, Brentford's been a tough home team this season. They've only been shut out once this season. Liverpool should win, so you may want to do something crazy. Liverpool wins and both teams to score gives you even more value. I'm looking at both teams to score because there's slightly more value than Liverpool winning. So that's the play I'm looking to make.
Or the over 3.5, which
Possibly. I'm not too high on the over 3.5, but it could get loose. It could get loose. All right. Next up, Leicester City hosting Fulham. Leicester City wins set at 4.4. Fulham wins set at 1.86. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, we said it a couple of times. Leicester City, the new coach, okay. We don't trust him. They hired a new coach, won against West Ham, and haven't won since. Yeah, I know they won against QPR in the FA Cup, but not really gonna count that one. In the league, they've lost six straight. They also have trouble scoring. While Fulham, I know Fulham lost to West Ham in midweek, but before that, Fulham was in pretty good form, so they shouldn't have trouble against a team like Leicester City. Sergio, Fulham win, right?
Yeah, Fulham win. I don't expect them to have a lot of problems also, although Leicester is playing at home. Like you said, they haven't won in six, But yeah, but I think Fulham is still too high up the table for them. So because sitting almost at the last spot in the league, yeah, so it shows how difficult they have playing. So I would definitely go for a Fulham win.
Yeah, and from the six games they've lost, they've only scored in two of those games, only one goal each. So they have trouble scoring. So listen, Fulham, this should be an easy route for Fulham. All right. Next up, West Ham hosting Crystal Palace. West Ham wins set at 2.85. Palace wins set at 2.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, West Ham, they fired their coach. Then they lost in the cup against Aston Villa, but bounced back with a win against Fulham in midweek. So I'm not sure if that was just a new coach bump. Possibly. Crystal Palace, these teams are quite about the same, right? Only 2 points separates them in the table, number 13, number 15. I'm not sure which way to go here because I'm still wondering to see if the new coach will kind of turn things around for West Ham. So, play I'm looking to skip here. What are you doing?
Yeah, normally I would skip also, but at home, highest odds. Yeah, teams almost the same. Yeah, so I would still lean towards West Ham. Maybe also the over 2.5. To play it safe, I would go for the over 2.5.
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable playing the over 2.5 than picking a win for either one. So, I guess I can tell you in that one, but not really picking a winner in that one. All right, next up, Arsenal hosting Aston Villa. Arsenal wins set at 1.58. Villa wins set at 6.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Villa, three straight wins. Arsenal bounced back with a win against Tottenham after two straight losses. They've kind of been struggling the last couple of games. While Villa's going in the opposite direction, Villa's actually trending upwards. I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals here. Now, if you look at the head-to-head matchups, the last couple of matchups, we haven't seen too many goals. But this time around, it should be different. Arsenal, 41 goals scored in the league. I don't think Villa shutting them out. And like I said, Villa in pretty good form. They should score here. Villa also 32 goals allowed. They allow more than they score. So that's a recipe for a problem. We should see goals. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree with you this time. I would also go for the over 2.5, sitting at 2. Yeah, so Arsenal playing at home, usually they score more than one time. So I would give Aston Villa a goal. So yeah, definitely over 2.5.
All right, we're in lockstep there. Next up, United hosting Brighton. United win set at 2.16. Brighton win set at 3.45. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, United, I don't know what's going on with them. Okay, they won back-to-back games. Kind of got lucky against Arsenal. They won with penalties. Then they beat Southampton, the worst team in the league. So that doesn't really say anything. Brighton's they've won back-to-back games. They've only lost two games in the last 10, but only two wins, so a lot of draws in there. I'm not sure I trust United. All right, before United won back-to-back games, they've allowed two goals in five straight games. So Brighton doesn't have the best offense in the league, obviously, but they do have some firepower and can trouble United here. So another game where I'm looking at the over 2.5. What are you doing?
If they play the same way they played against Liverpool, it would maybe help them. But I think the weather needs to be the same also, because I think that the game against Liverpool, I think the weather played a big role for them. So there was a lot of rain. I think Liverpool couldn't really play, the game they want to. So Man United got a little bit lucky there, but still against, playing against Brighton, difficult team. They haven't lost in six. I would definitely go for a draw here again, or maybe.
And that's why I'm looking at the over 2.5 because I don't think United will get shut out at home. And like I said, Brighton, enough firepower. United before the win, the back-to-back wins, they've allowed 2 goals at least in 5 straight games. So Brighton should also get on the score sheet here. Maybe United gets a little bit lucky, sneaks out a 2-1 win. I'm not seeing that happening. So maybe even a win for Brighton, but I like the over 2.5. All right. Next up, Everton hosting Tottenham. Everton wins set at 2.95. Tottenham wins set at 2.48. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Tottenham obviously struggling, a lot of injuries. But still, I'm gonna back them in this spot. Tottenham, for some reason, 43 goals scored, but they're only number 14 in the league, which is absolutely crazy. They're the second highest scoring team in the league and still out looking outside of the top 10, while Everton is the second lowest scoring team in the league. So if I'm gonna trust a team, I'm gonna trust a team that can score. Sergio, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, you should trust Tottenham, but like you said, it's crazy. But yeah, they concede a lot of goals also, and yeah, when they win, they need to score a lot of goals, and that's why their scoring total is so high. But I would uh, I would also go for a Tottenham win. I think number 14 and number 16, yeah, but the difference is bigger than on the table. So Tottenham win.
All right, we also agree there. Next up, Nottingham Forest hosting Southampton. Forest wins set at 1.41. Southampton wins set at 8.5. Lions for total goal set at 2.5. No, not a lot to say about this game. Forest, a very good team this season, playing against the worst team in the league. Southampton has not won a game in like forever, except for the game they won against Swansea in the FA Cup. But still, if you discount that one, they haven't won since what was it like match day 10 against Everton, a 1-0 win. So Forest should win here, right?
Yeah, 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 definitely a Forest win. I would also go for Forest.
All right, next up, Ipswich hosting City. Ipswich wins set at 8.5. City wins set at 1.37. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, I'm still not convinced City has turned things around. Um, but the talent gap is just so wide. You just have to back City here. Ipswich, they've been giving some teams trouble. They beat Chelsea 2-0, which was absolutely surprising. And Chelsea's in much better form than City at the moment. So I'm not sure Ipswich can do that against City because a team like that, not enough talent to beat too many teams in the top 10. So like I said, the talent gap is just so wide. You just have to take City, but I'm not trusting them. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I would uh I would just go for yeah, City. City is definitely yeah, a lot better than Ipswich Town. So we can we can discuss a lot there.
All right. Next up, Monday game, Chelsea hosting Wolves. Chelsea wins set at 1.38. Wolves win set at 8. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, Chelsea, another team in desperate need of a win. They've kind of been struggling of late, but at home, only one loss against Fulham, which a derby, sometimes crazy things can happen there. The last home game, a draw against Bournemouth, also a little bit surprising, but um, again, they're playing at home. They should bounce back against a team like Wolves. Wolves has been very good since they hired their new coach. But you saw in the last 3 games they lost to got absolutely smashed by Newcastle United 3-0. Also a 3-0 loss against Nottingham Forest. So good spot for Chelsea to bounce back, right?
It suddenly tumbled for them. I didn't expect them to, for them to get so bad. I mean, in 6 games, just one win. So yeah, I definitely did not expect that. But I hope against Wolves they'll get their form back. I think so. So Chelsea win, yes, of course, but the odds are not that high.
Yeah, obviously not interesting, and it's Monday, so
Yeah.
um, we'll have to see what we do there. But expect Chelsea to win this game. All right, that wraps up the Premier League. Let's get to La Liga. First game, Girona hosting Sevilla. Girona wins set at 1.94. Sevilla wins set at 4.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, two teams that kind of, how you say it, not great. You expected a lot more coming into the season. Um, if you look at especially Sevilla, number 13, they really struggled to score goals, only 21 goals scored so far. I'm trusting Girona here. I know they haven't been great, like I said, but if you look at home, the losses they've suffered were against good teams. All right, the last two home losses against Liverpool and Real Madrid. Before that, against Sociedad, which is a good team. Then in Champions League against Feyenoord and against Barcelona. Other than that, they've been good at home. Sevilla is not on the level of those other teams that beat Girona at home, so I can see Sevilla going on the road and beating Girona. What are you doing here?
No, well, no, but still, yeah, it can be tricky. So the over 2.5, I think it's a little bit more interesting for me. I would go for the over 2.5.
Yeah, I guess it's possible. Not, I don't want to bank on that because, like I said, Sevilla they really struggle to score goals. But Girona at home, at least Girona can score. So if you give Sevilla a goal, you could see the over 2.5. I guess you could pick either one, Girona win over 2.5. I like a win for Girona a little bit more. All right. Next up, Leganes hosting Atletico Madrid. Leganes win set at 7.5. Atletico Madrid win set at 1.5. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, suddenly, Atletico Madrid, number one in the league, absolutely on fire. There's seem to be any stopping them. But is this a game where they let their guard down and let Leganes surprise them?
No, not Leganes. You wouldn't expect it from Leganes, and I know um, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, that Leganes is one of the games that they already counted the 3 points to their total. So yeah, I don't think they'll get surprised. Um, and yeah, Leganes, isn't a team that can really, trouble the big teams. So I would just go for the Atletico win.
All right. Next up, Real Betis hosting Alaves. Betis win set at 1.76. Alaves win set at 5.2. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Betis also a team that's a little bit up and down. But I do like their home form. Only one loss at home. That was against Mallorca. And you could argue they deserved to win that game. Had a lot more ball possession, a lot more chances created, but suffered the short end of the stick. I'm just going with Betis here. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, Betis. If it's Betis, I always go for Betis. Yeah, disappointing. The last 2 games, didn't expect that exactly, but yeah, now they're playing at home and it's against Alaves, so maybe a 2-0 win.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Getafe hosting Barcelona. Getafe wins set at 7. Barcelona wins set at 1.48. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Barcelona, they suffered a little bit of a dip last year, at the end of last year, but they came out of the winter break on fire, absolutely distressing Real Madrid. Maybe that has a little bit more to do with Real Madrid, but still, Barcelona now 4 straight wins. back-to-back games where they scored at least 5 goals, and 3 out of the 4 games they've scored at least four. Again, okay, the 4-0 win was a Copa del Rey game against Barbastro, so you may want to discount that one, but still, if you don't discount that one, 3 straight wins against 3 solid opponents: Bilbao, Real Madrid, and Betis. So, Getafe shouldn't be in trouble, right?
No, Getafe shouldn't be in trouble there. The over 2.5, that's something to look at. Oh, and also, but if with a few other games, 150 should be helpful.
Yeah, the over 2.5, a little bit spicy, I would say. But Barcelona, they can push the over 2.5 all by themselves. So, also but the thing is, Getafe, they don't allow a lot of goals, right? Getafe has only allowed 16 goals in 19 games, and they don't score, only 13 goals scored in 19 games. So that's why you're getting so much value for the over 2.5. So, probably just take Barcelona for a win. All right. Next up, Celta hosting Bilbao. Celta wins set at 2.9. Bilbao wins set at 2.7. The line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, this is a game where I'm looking at the over 2.5. Bilbao's been a very good team, especially on the road. Celta, on the other hand, at home, very good. Only 2 losses at home against Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. They've been shut out once against Atletico Madrid, so against Bilbao. They should get on the score sheet here. Bilbao also a high scoring team, 29 goals, while Celta has scored 28. But then again, Celta has allowed 30. So a game where we should see goals. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it will be the third loss for Celta at home. Yeah, the odds are surprisingly high for Bilbao. I didn't expect that. I thought maybe a 190 or or at least two, but 270. Yeah, that's almost disrespectful for the number four. So. I gut feeling. I'm going for the Athletic Bilbao win.
Yeah, I understand why you would do that. Like I said, Celta, they've been tough at home. I know Bilbao is great, but still only lost against Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid at home. I guess you can argue Bilbao is almost at that level, so they can also trouble Celta and get a away win here. I'm not banking on that. I think Celta kind of has the slight upper hand here, so I think they will score goals. I think there should be a lot of goals, over 2.5. Both teams to score, also very interesting, sitting at 1.86, slightly less value. Um, but I think that's a little bit more of a guarantee if you want to call it that. I like them both, over 2.5, both teams to score. All right. Next up, Real Madrid hosting Las Palmas. Real Madrid wins set at 1.15. Las Palmas wins set at 18. Line total goal set at 3.5. Now, 1.15 for Real Madrid, just value too low to even think about betting Real Madrid, right?
Yeah, the over 3.5. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit too much. So yeah, this game is maybe just want to watch to see if they score a lot of goals. Uh, yeah, okay, they scored a lot against who they play. They won against Celta.
Oh yeah, but
Nice
yeah,
game.
again, that game got pushed to overtime, so
Mm,
5 goals, and it was actually the inside 90 minutes they only scored 2 goals.
yeah, yes, so that's why I would maybe skip this one. Over 2.5, or yeah, over 3.5. That's too much.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next up, Osasuna hosting Rayo. Osasuna wins set at 2.2. Rayo wins set at 3.75. Line for total goals set at 1.5. So they're not expecting a lot of goals. I'm not neither expecting a lot of goals, but I do like Osasuna in this spot. They've been a very good team this season. I know they're sitting 11th, but their play actually deserves more, and you kind of saw that on display when they beat Athletic Bilbao in the Copa del Rey in midweek. Now they return home, a lot of confidence. They return home where they've only lost 2 games this season against Betis and against Athletic Bilbao. Now, Betis kind of a surprise, not a great road team, but like we already earlier said, Athletic Bilbao is a good road team. So I expect Osasuna to win against Rayo here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm expecting a win also. Yeah, Osasuna won against Barcelona, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Osasuna, yeah, so uh, Osasuna at home, I think that especially for a team like Vallecano, they're almost unbeatable. So yeah, I would they have the same amount of points. So if Osasuna wins this one, they're entering the top 10. So yeah, I would definitely go for the Osasuna win.
All right, next up, Valencia hosting Sociedad. Valencia wins set at 3.2. Sociedad wins set at 2.55. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, very high odd for Sociedad here, but they've been the better team throughout the season. Valencia still struggling, last in the league, desperate for points. Um, Two wins out of the last three, but both wins in the Copa del Rey, so not sure what to do with that. Sociedad has just been a better team. Still, they're on the road. Could be a tough place to play here at Valencia. What are you doing?
Same. I think this is the same. This almost the same game like the one Tottenham against Everton. I would still go for a Sociedad win. Sociedad still the better team. Valencia at last, and Real Sociedad 2.55 the odds for winning. Over 2.5, 290. Um, it will be a one goal game, I think. So Real Sociedad win 0-1.
Yeah, I guess. But you want to hear something crazy? May shock you if you hear this stat. Valencia has scored more goals this season than Real Sociedad. Right? That's if you if you hear that, you're like,
Yeah, they should have scored less then.
obviously, in Sociedad, a much better defense, only 13 goals allowed, but only 17 scored while Valencia scored 18. Valencia has allowed 29 goals, so defense has been the issue for Valencia. Um, so I guess I can agree with you here. Sociedad maybe shuts out Valencia here, a 1-0 win for Valencia. But if you look at
Real
how these
Sociedad.
teams are scoring goals, I'm rather looking at playing under 2.5 goals in this game.
Yeah, but you don't get a lot for that. So I think
And
I think there will be a winner this game. But
there's a reason you don't get much for the under 2.5.
yeah,
All right. Next up, a Monday game, Villarreal hosting Mallorca. Villarreal wins set at 1.78. Mallorca wins set at 5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Villarreal, um, they've they've been good this season, somewhat, especially at home. They've been solid. They still also have defensive issues. 34 goals scored, 31 allowed, so only a +3 goal difference. While Mallorca has a -2 goal difference, but um, these teams are leveled on points. Um, I think Monday we should see goals here. Like I said, Villarreal, they really can defend. Um, Mallorca has been shut out in back-to-back games, so time for them to get on the score sheet here. Over 2.5. What are you doing?
yeah. The last six they won two. So um, the two are they won against Girona, they won against Getafe. So I think it's this game. I'm looking more at a draw. Both teams need a win. So Mallorca playing away, difficult because Villarreal at home usually, and especially a team against, or yeah, a team like Mallorca should be a little bit difficult, I think.
All right. That wraps up La Liga. Let's get to Serie A. First game, Bologna hosting Monza. Bologna wins set at 1.64. Monza wins set at 6.25. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Monza, worst team in the league, and we faded them last week, but for some reason, they won against Fiorentina, which was their first win since winning against Hellas Verona back at match day 8. Now go on the road against a team like Bologna. I think Bologna should win this game here. Worst team in the league. They're not winning back-to-back games against good teams, right?
No, I think so. Fiorentina, I think is the Tottenham of the Serie A. They just can lose against like it happened against Monza, number 20 on the table, and they still, yeah, it was a surprising, very surprising game for me. Yeah, but these games also happen. But winning against Fiorentina and then against Bologna away, no, I don't think so. Bologna, 3 games without a win. So I think against Monza, they smell their chance.
Yeah, and Bologna at home, they've only suffered one loss in the league. I know that was against Verona, also a terrible team, but in that game, Bologna received a red card, played with 10 men for a big portion of the second half. Still, the game was tied 2-2 heading into the last minutes of the game, and then an own goal gave Verona the win. So, Bologna very good at home. They should win again here. All right. Next up, Juventus hosting AC Milan. Juventus wins set at 2.3. AC Milan wins set at 3.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, a couple of weeks ago, these teams already met. Juventus kind of gave up a 1-0 lead. AC Milan, they've been playing much better under the new coach. I'm gonna play both teams to score here. There's a lot of value, 1.84. And Juventus, they kind of started the season very well defensively, but if you look at the last few games, man, it's been like forever since they kept a clean sheet. They kept against Cagliari, they won 4-0, but that was not in the Serie A, was Coppa Italia. And then against City also kept a clean sheet, but that was also the Champions League. If you look at the league, the last time they kept a clean sheet, surprisingly, that was against AC Milan, but match day 13, like we said, AC Milan, different coach. Juventus, they've shown some signs offensively. Last game against Atalanta in midweek, so both teams to score. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I don't know why Juventus is still sitting in fifth. It seems so yeah so unreal. The way they're playing is not good at all. Um, especially the game against I guess it was Torino. Man, terrible. I think they're gonna drop a little bit further. I'm going for a Milan win here. I think, yeah, they did it once already. I think a week, 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So yeah, I would still go again for a Milan win.
Yeah, because just because it was like only 2 weeks ago, it gives me some trepidation betting Milan here. Can you beat a team like they're kind of on the same level at the moment, I would say. Maybe Milan's a little bit better with the new coach. But can you beat a team twice in that short of a span, both games on the road? Kind of a tough ask, but I do think Milan will score here, so that's why I'm looking at both teams to score. But picking a winner. I would side with you. I would go for AC Milan. All right. Next up, Atalanta hosting Napoli. Atalanta wins set at 2.38. Napoli wins set at 3.25. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Um, Now Napoli, they've been struggling against teams that can really score. We saw against Lazio, they played back-to-back games against Lazio, lost. They also played earlier against Atalanta, lost 3-0. So I think Atalanta deservingly favored in this game. I think they will win again. But I do like both teams to score here, sitting at 1.77. Having already lost to Atalanta, you're number one in the league, your guard should be up. So I do believe they can get a goal here. But Atlanta should be pretty motivated, dropping now down to third, 4 points behind Napoli. So what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Atalanta, form in the last 4 games, not that great. Of course, the last 2 games they won against Napoli, 0-3. So, hmm, I think I would. I would still go for the Napoli winning the, Atalanta winning um, uh, two games straight against Napoli, and both of them were away. So I would uh, I would say it's Napoli's turn now. Um, gut feel,
Possibly,
I'm going for
possibly, and
Napoli.
especially them shutting out Napoli in both games, winning 3-0, makes me believe Napoli should get on the score sheet here. But one thing I know for sure, Napoli's not shutting out Atalanta. I know Atalanta didn't score against Udinese, and they kind of looked terrible. Before that, also got shut out against Inter. But still, Atalanta, 44 goals scored, second highest scoring team in the league. So I'm not seeing Napoli shutting out Atalanta at home. So both teams to score is kind of the bet I like the most in this game, sitting at 1.77. If I have to pick a winner, I'm going against you. I'm taking Napoli.
You're going against me, then I'm going for Napoli. So
Oh, sorry. I meant Atalanta. Yeah, you're going for Napoli. If I have to pick a winner, I'm going against you. I'm going for Atalanta.
okay, okay,
But if I'm
okay.
placing a bet, it's both teams to score 1.77. Also very good value. All right. Next up, Fiorentina hosting Torino. Fiorentina wins set at 1.78. Torino wins set at 5.5. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now, like you said, Fiorentina, Tottenham of Serie A. Um, I think that's a good one. Listen, man, you're playing at home, in desperate need of a win. They haven't won in six. And listen, man, against a team like Torino. Torino has won one road game in the last six against an Empoli. Not a good team. So Fiorentina, I don't really trust them because their form is really shaky at the moment. But at home against Torino should be a good spot to bounce back. What are you doing?
I don't trust them at all. Also, they're still sitting sixth in the lead. Uh, I mean, in Italy, it's really strange, because 6 games, lost four, and still the number six in one of the best competitions in Europe. So and just like Juventus also, they're sitting fifth. Um, so yeah, don't trust them. Um, I think I would just skip this game over 2.5. No, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah,
So
I know their form is dipping at the moment, but the reason they're still sixth is starting the season, they've been like pretty much on fire, right? They haven't lost in too many since going into this dip, like before going into this dip. They were kind of on a very hot streak, and that's where they gathered most of their points. So that's why they're still sitting sixth. Juventus fifth. I guess that's also a little bit strange, but in the Serie A, Juventus is also still undefeated, so that also says something. So sitting fifth and sixth, I think deservingly, because if you look at the teams below them, could you really make a case for any team that's really better than them at the moment? Maybe AC Milan with a new coach, but Bologna, Roma's also been struggling. Udinese, Genoa, and then we just get to the teams outside of the top 10. Like, who's really better than Fiorentina and Juventus that's sitting below them? I don't think too many teams.
no, not too many.
All right. Next up, Cagliari hosting Lecce. Cagliari wins set at 1.95. Lecce wins set at 4.3. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, this game, I'm just looking at the under 2.5 goals here. Lecce um, still can score 14 goals scored, while Cagliari also averages less than a goal a game. Not really a game I'm interested in watching. I don't think there will be too many goals, so I'm looking at the under 2.5 goals. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, nothing actually. I'm gonna skip this game also. Number 13, number 18. Yeah, just 2 points difference. Yeah, it's gonna be a ugly draw, let's say.
All right. Next up, Parma hosting Venezia. Parma wins set at 2.18. Venezia wins set at 3.4. Line for goal set at 2.5. Not another game I'm not too interested in watching. But if I have to place a bet here, it's the over 2.5 goals. I know both teams have kind of been struggling the last couple of games to really score goals, but playing against each other, um, 35 goals allowed for Parma, 33 goals allowed for Venezia. So over 2.5, that's the only thing I'm looking at. What are you doing?
Not a lot again, also one of the games where you just know it's gonna be maybe a 1 goal game or a 0-0 even. So yeah, uh, my advice, these games, just skip them.
All right. Next up, Verona hosting Lazio. Verona wins set at 4.8. Lazio wins set at 1.8. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now Lazio now only one win in the last five. Um, Kind of tricky. The six nothing loss against Inter. It looks bad. It was bad. But other than that, a 1-1 draw against Atalanta, one of the best teams in the league. So that's not that of a bad result. And then they lost the derby game against AS Roma, which I think they actually played a little bit better throughout the game, but on the road they suffered two early goals in the game within 20 minutes, and that was basically the game. The draw against Como, kind of unfortunate. They also received a red card in that game, and then Como came back and picked up a draw. Now against Verona, going on the road, still you have to win this game. I'm gonna back Lazio in this spot. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna back Lazio also. I don't think you can, go any different here. So yeah, I'm going for the Lazio win.
All right, next up, Inter hosting Empoli. Inter wins set at 1.24. Empoli wins set at 14. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Sorry. Inter, oh, right, low value backing Inter here. I'm not sure about the over 3.5. Obviously, Inter should win this game. Maybe look to play a halftime, full time for Inter because I do believe they will come out on fire in this game, especially dropping points in the last game and knowing that Atalanta and Napoli are squaring off. So if that game's a draw or either one loses, you can put more distance between you and Atalanta, or you can close the gap with Napoli. So I believe Inter comes out on fire here, halftime, full time. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. I would also go for just easy Inter win. So yeah, not much to add.
All right. Next up, Como hosting Udinese. Como wins set at 2.17. Udinese wins set at 3.7. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, another Monday game, and these teams are quite about the same. I know 7 points separates them in the standings, but they've scored almost about the same. Como has allowed a little bit more than Udinese. Guess at home you can favor them a little bit, but I think these teams are very close to each other and they're also playing it like it at the moment. So uh, possibly a draw. I'm not doing anything here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm joining you on that Monday. Yeah, well, draw 1-1 at least.
All right. Now that wraps up Serie A. Let's get to the Bundesliga. First game, Stuttgart hosting Freiburg. Stuttgart wins set at 1.62. Freiburg wins set at 5.3. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now Stuttgart, I'm not sure I can say they came out on fire after the winter break, but back-to-back wins and back-to-back games where they've played very well. A win on the road against Augsburg, and then they came back and from a 1-0 deficit against Leipzig. Now they stay home, host Freiburg, who's not in that great of a form. Only two wins in the last five. Actually, two wins in the last six if you go even further. So Stuttgart should win this game. I like Stuttgart at 1.62. I don't like the over 2.5, over 3.5 goals, but I do like over 2.5. So if you bump that down, you get like 1.5 for over 2.5 goals. Not great value, but sneaky good. What are you doing?
Yeah, over 2.5, or both teams to score. Uh, Stuttgart win. I would rather go for that, or maybe just a Stuttgart win. But then you need to, put a few other games in it also.
All right. Next up, Bayern Munich hosting Wolfsburg. Bayern Munich wins set at 1.17. Wolfsburg wins set at 15. Line total goal set at 3.5. Now, I know Bayern's been great at home, but Wolfsburg is sitting seventh, and you're getting an odd for 15 for Wolfsburg. That's just absolutely crazy. Listen, I'm not sure Wolfsburg will win this game. I don't think they can go on the road and beat Bayern because, but just because the odd, I'm gonna play Wolfsburg in this spot. Actually, the best bet for this game, I think, is both teams to score, sitting at 1.74 because Wolfsburg, they're a team, very high scoring team. They average over 2 goals a game, so they could get on the score sheet here, should get on the score sheet. 1.74, both teams to score. That's what I like. But I will sprinkle something on Wolfsburg. The odds just too high, man. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, what are you gonna sprinkle on Wolfsburg? Yeah. What for them? For the what? Double chance?
No, just a outright win for Wolfsburg.
Just to win Wolfsburg.
Like I said, I'm not. I don't think they will win this game. But 15, they're number seven, man. And
Yeah, you're
crazy
right.
thing can happen. Bayern picks up a red card, stuff like
Yeah,
that. So, like, and those are things you can't predict, right? A red card, crazy things happening in this game. So, um, just for the sake of it, 15, I'm gonna back Wolfsburg. What are you doing?
yeah. I would maybe go for the double chance. I understand what you're saying because 15. That's for the number seven. That's absurd, of course. And 1.18. It's not like Bayern is untouchable in the Bundesliga. So yeah, double chance. That's as far as I would go.
Uh,
But I'm joining you for the sprinkling something on Wolfsburg. Yes.
all right. Next up, Heidenheim hosting St. Pauli. Heidenheim wins set at 2.5. St. Pauli wins set at 2.88. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now, listen, man, two teams here that I really can't trust. Heidenheim won against Union, but Union also terrible. St. Pauli, a team that really can't score, but they can defend. I don't know which way to go here. They won one game in the last in the six against Stuttgart. Kind of a surprising win. Um, I'm not doing anything here. What are you doing?
I agree. Number 14, number 15, same amount of points. So just one win in the last six for both. It's yeah. That only shows you that they draw at everything. So but, I'm just gonna skip the game.
All right, next up, Bochum hosting Leipzig. Bochum wins set at 3.7. Leipzig wins set at 2.02. Line for Turbo set at 2.5. Now, the odd for Leipzig, I don't know why it's this high, over 2-1. They're playing Bochum, man. God damn it. Bochum's the worst team in the league. Now, I know Leipzig, they're missing both strikers, so I'm not sure Leipzig can score enough to put away Bochum. But still, odd over 2-1 kind of stinks. I'm looking at both teams to score. Like I said, they're missing both strikers, so I'm not sure they score enough. But they will score. Bochum's not shutting out Leipzig, and Bochum at home should get a goal because last couple of games they've been playing better. So both teams to score, sitting at 1.61. That's what I'm looking at. Sergio, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would just go for a Leipzig win. Yeah, Bochum. Their stats. They won a few games during the winter break. Yeah, but I don't think we count those. So
Yeah, a couple of friendlies, but
yeah, a
still,
couple of friendlies.
they beat St. Pauli 1-0, and before the break they beat Heidenheim 2-0. So. Obviously, not two good teams. Leipzig on a different level, but um, the games were at home, so maybe they've figured something out at home. Like I said, I don't think they have enough to beat Leipzig, but I think they have enough to score a goal here. So that's why I'm looking at both teams to score.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going for Leipzig win.
All right. Next up, Kiel hosting Hoffenheim. Kiel wins set at 3.05. Hoffenheim wins set at 2.33. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Kiel surprisingly beat Dortmund 4-2. That was maybe a very big shock. It just was a very, very big shock. But Dortmund at the moment kind of struggling. So obviously they still shouldn't lose against Kiel, but Yesterday they lost again against Frankfurt, got shut out. So I'm not sure where Dortmund's at the moment. Um, Hoffenheim, on the other hand, also pretty terrible. Since they hired the new coach, they won against Leipzig, a game that absolutely screwed me. But since then, they haven't lost. Sorry, they haven't won. They've only won one against Augsburg, but that was a friendly match, so discounting that one. I'm not sure where Hoffenheim's at. I'm not sure where Kiel's at. What are you doing?
Looking at the form of Hoffenheim, you would just go for, sprinkle something on Host and Kiel, but yeah, but that is, maybe a little bit too risky, but they're playing at home, so a double chance or maybe just the over 2.5, in case Hoffenheim wins their first game in a long time. They're gonna need to score at least 2 goals because I think Holston Kiel gets a goal here.
Yeah, and maybe a letdown spot for Holstein Kiel after coming off a high against Dortmund. And if you're Hoffenheim, you may look at this game like, okay, we may not get a better chance to win any game if we don't win this one. So, if I would go for the over 2.5. All right. Next up, Leverkusen hosting Gladbach. Leverkusen wins set at 1.27. Gladbach wins set at 11. And Linefield goal set at 3.5. So this is another game where I kind of understand the line because Leverkusen seems like they've really turned things around. I'm not even sure how many games they've won in a row. But they've been undefeated since losing 4-0 against Liverpool. That was back in November. And if you look at the Bundesliga, it goes back even further, of course.
Mm.
So obviously Leverkusen, very good form, should win this game. I still think 11's a little bit high for Gladbach, but I'm not gonna sprinkle something on this game because Gladbach, outside of the top 10 looking in, not a great road team, but I do believe they can score a goal here. So I'm looking at both teams to score 1.71. What are you doing?
Yeah, the over 3.5, maybe, but yeah, other than that, I would no, I wouldn't say a lot about this game. Bayer Leverkusen win, yeah, I think this will be the 8th win in a row, so or 7, yeah, so yeah, I'm just going for the Leverkusen win.
Right now they're sitting at 10 wins in a row. Uh,
10 win.
yeah, right now they're sitting at 10 wins in a row.
Okay, maybe that's yeah. That can be troubling sometimes, winning so many games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but still, I will give them this one.
And not only have they won 10 in a row, the last time they lost in the Bundesliga was match day 2 against Leipzig. So, if
Oh
you
yeah,
just,
but we had a lot of draws, right?
yeah, they had a lot of draws, but if you look at the Bundesliga, they've been undefeated for a very long time.
Okay.
All all right. Next up, Union Berlin hosting Mainz. Union wins set at 2.75. Mainz wins set at 2.8. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, I know they're just a slight, very, very slight favorite, 2.75 versus 2.8. I still don't think Union should be favored in this game. Give me Mainz all day. Mainz is much better than Union at the moment. Union is just absolutely terrible. 4 straight losses. Haven't scored more than once in 5 straight games, while Mainz is actually one of the better teams at the moment. They lost against Leverkusen, a Leverkusen team that's just absolutely on fire, and even that was kind of a nail biter. They lost a kind of a thriller against Wolfsburg 4-3. But other than that, 6 wins in the last 8. So Mainz should win this game, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna risk this one also. I'm going for the Mainz win. Like you said, Union 6 losses in a row. If I count the friendlies also, so yeah, no. So I would go for a Mainz win.
Yeah. Now Union actually has a draw sprinkled between the losses, a 1-1 draw against Bochum. But if you it's been a while since they've won a game. The last time they won a game was against Holstein Kiel, was back at match day 7, and they don't have too many good wins this season.
Okay.
All right, next up, Werder Bremen hosting Augsburg. Werder Bremen wins set at 1.91. Augsburg wins set at 4.2. Line for goals set at 2.5. I like Werder Bremen in the spot at home. They've been solid at home this season, while Augsburg has not been great on the road. Only one win on the road this season. Well, if you look at Werder Bremen at home, they've picked up most of their points at home. I know they've suffered some losses, but Augsburg, like I said, not a great road team, so can't see Augsburg going on the road and beating Bremen here. And if you look at the head-to-head matchup, especially recently, Bremen has the upper hand. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, Bremen. Nice odds. Over, but I would still go for the over 2.5. Play it safe. So yeah, yeah, over 2.5, 1.8 against the 1.92 win for Werder Bremen. I would go for the over 2.5 this game.
Yeah, Werder Bremen, they're sitting in the top 10, but they're allowing more goals than they're scoring. 31 scored, 32 allowed. So Augsburg can get a goal here. I wouldn't disagree with you at the over 2.5. Probably the safer play if something crazy were to happen. But I still think Bremen will win this game.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Eredivisie. First game. PEC hosting PSV. PEC wins set at 13. PSV wins set at 1.22. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, very low value backing PSV here. If you want to play a halftime, full time, possibly, because PSV they dropped points in the last game, so should be up for this game. Coming right out of the gate. What are you doing?
Yeah, over 2.5. Yeah, I would try that one. Yes, because value for PSV, like you said, too low, and I want both teams to score. PSG win. Yeah, I'm not sure Pax will. It's possible, of course, but yeah, I still think it is gonna be far-fetched. So I would go for over 3.5.
All right. Next up, Utrecht hosting AZ. Utrecht wins set at 3. AZ wins set at 2.45. Line for total goals set at 2.5. AZ kind of on fire coming into this game. They just beat Ajax in midweek and coming off a road draw against PSV, which is a very good result. These teams already, of course, met earlier this season. Utrecht won, but AZ actually played better in that game. I think Utrecht was a little bit lucky to come out with a win in that game. AZ had an expected goals of over 3, 67% ball possession, 22 shots, while Utrecht just had, of course, 33% ball possession, expected goals under 1. Um, I know they're going on the road now, but Asset is just in such good form. I'm going to back Asset at the moment. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think backing AZ is maybe the right way to go. Utrecht won against Feyenoord. Uh,
Also
very
a surprise.
Yeah, surprise also, but still, it was convincing. They won that game. So you would say coming from a high, yeah, but also AZ, a draw against PSV. Not a lot of people expected that also. So I think they're leveled on that. Surprising people. So I would still go for the AZ win, actually. Utrecht, um, they play good, but still, there's something about this team that can't really convince me that they'll win. These big games. So I would uh, I would go for the AZ win here.
Yeah, and the thing is, they in these big games, if they fall behind, it's a problem. Because you see against Feyenoord, they were up 2-0, they score first of good because they have one approach when they are playing these big games. It's just defend, 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 try to counter. Against Feyenoord, 25% ball possession. Like that's just absolutely absurd, right? So if the other team scores first, if AZ scores first in this game, Utrecht they'll just be walking behind the sticks the whole game. I'm not sure they recover from that. So give me AZ. course, Utrecht can just they if they somehow they get lucky, they score first, they can, park the bus. That could spell some trouble, but AZ, that should be the way to go in this game. All right. Next up, Willem II hosting Feyenoord. Willem II wins set at 9.5. Feyenoord wins set at 1.35. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, Feyenoord kind of in desperate need of a win. Um, two games now where they've kind of played disappointing. I know the one was against an PSV, but actually lost pretty convincingly 3-0. Then you lose against Utrecht. So back-to-back losses. You have to bounce back here against Willem II. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Feyenoord win, but maybe the over 2.5 is, it's interesting at 1.6. So I would go for the over 2.5. Not too much value for Feyenoord winning, but they have to win against Willem too. That's for sure.
Go Ahead Eagles. Hosting Groningen, Go Ahead Eagles win set at 1.56. Groningen wins set at 6.5. Line for Zorgo set at 2.5. Now, last week, Groningen, they were hosting Almere City. We thought that was a good spot for Groningen to get a win. They pretty much dominated that game, so should
Mhm.
have gotten a win, but just
Yeah.
were unable to score. Um, and that's kind of been a tale of them this season. So I'm not sure they go on the road here and score enough to put away a team like Go Ahead Eagles. Only 14 goals scored, Groningen this season. So Go Ahead Eagles at home should be a win here, right?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, Eagles. I think the odds say that also. Odds agree. Over 2.5, maybe not. Just to go ahead, Eagles win. Yeah, I would go for go ahead, Eagles.
All right. Next up, Breda hosting Twente. Breda wins set at 5.1. Twente wins set at 1.74. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Breda, first of all, I'm going to give you credit going against Breda last week when they hosted in Heerenveen.
Yeah,
And again, Heerenveen lost in midweek to Quick Boys.
mm,
We'll get to that in a second. But Breda, if you look at the last 5 games, they've lost three, and I think that's been more indicative of who they are this season. I think they've been very lucky at the beginning of the season, especially when they were in the top 10. Now they're just outside of the top 10. I think they will fall down even further. Um, Twente should win this game. I'm backing Twente. What are you doing?
yeah, Twente, and surprisingly, good odds for 20 even 1.74. Yeah, you can't ignore that. So 20 winning, they have the top scorer in the league in their team. So I would definitely go for 20 win.
All right. Next up, Heerenveen hosting Ajax. Heerenveen wins set at 5.8. Ajax wins set at 1.61. Line for total set at 3.5. Now, 1.61 is good value for Ajax, but Heerenveen undefeated at home this season. On the road, of course, they're terrible. Like we saw losing against Quick Boys.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just absolutely terrible. But still undefeated at home, so are they troubling Ajax here?
Yeah, no, no, they're not troubling Ajax here. I think the lose again or the loss against Quick Boys, yeah, definitely did something to the confidence, I'm sure. And now, hosting Ajax, um, Ajax, of course, yeah, losing against AZ, but yeah, it's still AZ at home, very difficult team to beat. But before that, Ajax had a loss in six, so yeah. Heerenveen, mm, I don't think they'll trouble Ajax this weekend.
Yeah, of course they had a surprising win against PSV, but that was a one-off, right?
Yeah, yes, definitely.
All right, next up, Almere City hosting Heracles. Almere City wins set at 2.55. Heracles wins set at 2.9. Line for Zorgo set at 2.5. Now, just two teams actually already fighting for relegation here. They allow about the same amount of goals. Almere City scores about half the goals Heracles scores. So even though Heracles on the road, I'm gonna back the team that can score, but not a game I'm too interested in watching or betting. So what are you doing?
No, this is the game in the Eredivisie. Maybe watch, but no better. I'm gonna skip this one.
All right, I'm joining you. Next up, NEC hosting Fortuna. NEC wins set at 1.89. Fortuna wins set at 4.4. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, NEC, good win last week on the road against PEC. While Fortuna, they got smashed by Go Ahead Eagles 3-0. Still, Fortuna, I trust them to score goals, even though they're on the road. I like them to score goals. 25 goals scored, just one more than NEC. Sorry, but NEC at home should get a goal, possibly win the game. So I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals. What are you doing?
Yeah, over 2.5. Yeah, definitely at 1.95. But still, NEC win. That's also still on still a very good odd and yeah, very good way to go also. So I would go for the NEC win.
Yeah, I understand, and I would also back NEC if I have to pick a winner. But the reason I like the over 2.5 a little bit more because you see sometimes Fortuna, although they lost against Go Ahead Eagles, and sometimes they just can surprise like they did against Utrecht. So that's why I'm looking a little bit more at the over 2.5.
Mm.
All right, next up, Sparta hosting RKC. Sparta wins set at 1.52. RKC wins set at 6.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Sparta, man, when's the last time they won a game? Oh, that was against RKC, but that was match day 6. I still think, I know they're at home, but still 1.52. I don't think that they should be favored by that much. Right?
No.
Sparta also just a terrible team. RKC is even worse, but 1.52. That's just too heavily juiced in favor of Sparta. So if I were to make a play here, I'm playing RKC plus 1.5 goals. I'm not sure Sparta runs away in this game. So what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I agree. This is also one of the games that I'm thankfully gonna skip, because Sparta, you can't really, say something about the way they're playing at the moment. It's not good at all. RKC a little bit better, but I don't think enough just to win an away game, from Sparta. So. I'm gonna skip this one also.
All right, now that wraps up Eredivisie and that wraps up all picks and leads for this weekend. Quick recap for the bets we really like this weekend. I like Mainz to win, Girona to win, Celta Bilbao both teams to score, Juventus AC Milan both teams to score, Atalanta Napoli both teams to score, Twente win and a win for Ajax. Sergio, what do you have?
Yeah, I have Tottenham, Girona for a win. I have 3 in the La Liga this weekend. Girona, Betis, Bilbao, and Milan, Napoli, Leipzig, and Mainz for a win.
Oh, you got some high odds, man.
Yes, that's
Maybe
right.
you may be a rich guy after this weekend.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right. That wraps up all picks and leads. Like we always say, guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set with your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, good weekend, everybody.